Hello everyone, welcome to another conversation of Voice of Finance. These are a series of conversations with CFOs and finance leadership on how finance area can add value in the digital era. Today, we thank you, Valeria Guitart, who is here with us in NTT DATA house, to talk about how the CFO role has been evolving in these last years. So first of all, Valeria, could you tell us a bit about you, how you have come to become the CFO of Foundation ESADE?
Sure, thanks Belén. First of all, let me thank you and thank NTT DATA to invite me to this Voice of Finance initiative, which I think is really interesting. I'm Valeria Guitart. I'm today the CFO of ESADE Foundation, where I studied. As you can imagine, ESADE Foundation is a university, a business school, law and executive education, higher education. And I started there my studies, and when I finished, I joined Sara Lee, which was one of the most important mass market consumer goods in the world. And there I think I made everything possible within finance. No? I started in administration, controlling, treasury, then taxes, so I made just everything, also shared services. At the end I was managing the shared services center at Sara Lee for South Europe. And then I moved to the pharmaceutical sector. Very different, but also very, very interesting, where I also made different roles as a global CFO in Spain. And a couple of years ago, I joined Fundación ESADE as a CFO.
But you have not stopped there as a CFO. My understanding is that now your role has evolved to cover more support areas. How has been that journey?
Yes, it's exactly like that, Belén. I joined the Fundación ESADE only in a finance role, and after 1 year the pandemic came, and we realized that according to our strategy and the evolution that the school needed to do, we needed to amplify the role of finance. So I took care 1 year and a half ago also of the people department, the academic affairs, the operation, and also the IT department.
So that's great, because this is really wide scope, ability to impact quite heavily the organization. Which would you consider are the 3 pillars of added value from your current position?
I think today in finance we need to evolve from efficiency to impacting. And impact is especially important in 3 areas, I think, as you were mentioning: strategy, culture, and customer experience. In our case, students' experience. So if we talk about the strategy, for instance, there are 3 pillars for us. There's a 4th you will discover later, but the first 3 I would say it's to make sure we make higher education available to everyone, independently from what are their economic possibilities. So we are doubling our scholarships in the last 3 years, and we will not stop there. We want to continue growing in that area, because we also we really think that the talent, we need to evolve the talent, and we need to attract the talent, develop the talent, and make sure we make the talent available to the world. Then the second one, where finance is the king, is economic sustainability. We need to make sure, as I was mentioning, that not only that we use our resources efficiently, this is already granted, but we need to make sure we allocate the resources where we can impact more. And this is an evolution that I think is really important for finance. Then the third one is about internationalization. We have, for the first year, our incoming students are more than half of them international. So the growth there is really significant. And that's why we are top 3, 10 or 20 in the rankings in the different universities in the world. No?
So that's a very interesting journey you are engaged in. And thank you for sharing with us the strategy. But you have also mentioned the culture. How important is the culture in ESADE, and how, from your position, are contributing to it?
Well, the culture is based on our values. We are, as I mentioned, a foundation, so the values are really relevant for us. Just to mention 3 of our 5 values, I would say that people-centric is the first one, and people-centric is about our students, but also about our employees. So we are trying from people area to ensure we recruit and we develop the best talent. That way we can impact the culture and make sure our leaders have the tools to ensure we are able to implement the strategy that we want. Then we also think the contribution to the common society is really relevant.
So you are very impactful in your community.
Exactly. We are the community impact is our second most important, would say, value. But not only that, also the impact on the social justice is the third most important value. So from the people area, we are trying to make sure everyone knows that values, but not only knows, but they live and make people live that values through our, for instance, through our development project that we are already implementing. We measure how our people is embedding these values.
So that's great what you are explaining to us, because this is a holistic view towards education and making people grow in their skills and values. It also has an innovative angle. Could you explain us a bit more about how you drive innovation and digitalization in education?
Yeah, sure. In fact, we are almost 1,000 people at Fundación ESADE thinking about how to innovate every day. Innovation is very, very embedded in our academic part. Just to put some examples, we have escape room, a digital escape room in one of our programs to train our students. So what we are trying is to bring to the non-academic part all that knowledge that we have. Also, for instance, we are, through our network of business angels, trying to help a lot of startups, even in the seed phase. So we are also trying to bring that knowledge to the education technology, so to ensure that we have the most innovative tools, the most innovative initiatives included in our programs. No? Just to put another example, we are launching this year the Business Administration and Artificial Intelligence degree. So yeah, we are really innovative as a culture, as a philosophy.
Okay. So that's great, because you mention innovation with various angles. You are talking about how we execute, how we experience education. You have very briefly touched on technologies. I would like you to deep dive a bit more on how technology is helping you in the academic and in the support area.
Yeah, in the support area, let me start by that, because this is the part I manage the most. For instance, we are, as I mentioned, the escape room. We are trying to introduce the gaming in the recruiting area, in the development area. Also, in data, predictive analysis that we have some courses on predictive analysis. We are also trying to incorporate the predictive analysis on the operational area, where we need to make sure we make our campus bringing the best experience to our students. So we need to make sure we know where the students will be there, where we need to clean, where we need to use the cleaning services, something as simple as that. You need a lot of planification and predictive analysis and data to make sure you are there when the students need us to be there. No? Or another example on robotics. We are trying to implement the robotics in the academic area, where we need to focus more on the future than in the current process. For sure, the current process is very relevant, but through robotics, we think we will be able to give the step that we need to focus more on future.
Valeria, we really thank you for all the things you have shared with us, because are really impactful. You have talked about the strategy, you have talked about the impact on the student and in the community, you have talked about how to drive innovation and to bring a more holistic student experience. You have talked about technology as an enabler, and of course data to drive the experience. I really thank you for your insights, for your passion, sharing that agenda, and how CFOs can evolve from the core, which is finance, into more impactful areas. And I thank you, everyone, for joining us in a new series, and we hope to see you soon in the next one. Thank you so much.